When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fan fiction story. Today I bring you a new story. The Wrath of the Inferno New God, Part 0. When the old gods sacrificed and gave up their power, in doing so, creating the new gods, Zeke and his sister were the first one to be created into what you would call new gods. Later down the line, Highfather and the rest of the new gods came into creation. As you see a huge black pyramid on New Genesis, Zeke is sitting on his throne. This is his sister by his side. As the Highfather come barging into his temple, his domain, where he likes to spend his time. Brother, shall I get rid of him? Stand down, Snow. Let's see what he wants. I knew sooner or later one of the other new gods would approach me. Speak. Am Highfather, ruler of New Genesis. Why didn't you come when you were summoned? All new gods were to commence at the city by summons. You know the rules. Insolent man, you think you have the authority and power to order me and my brother around? I should strike you down where you stand. Snow begins to unsheath her sword from her sheath, ready to strike the fool in his place. Zeke waved his hand for his sister to stand down. You pursue my lot, Highfather. You have no command over me. I was the first one to be made into a new god. I should outright kill you for barging into my temple in such a manner. But I'm not an unforgiving god. Bow, and I might consider not eradicating you from that spot you stand. Highfather. What if I refuse? You simply will die. Either by my hand or my beloved sister. In the end, you will die. I've let you and the other new gods to their own devices because, in truth, none of you matter to me. Not one bit. No one will summon me anywhere, especially you, Highfather. Nothing but a child that's throwing a tantrum. Not bow to you. I suppose you wouldn't. You're lucky you caught me in a good mood. To you and many other new gods try to challenge me, I will eradicate them on the spot. You could either walk out of my temple of your own free will, or I'll remove you from my temple by force. Don't test me, child. My father is still a bit arrogant in his power, becoming a new god. Eventually, he will gain wisdom, but today is not that day. Highfather immediately rushed forward and swung his scepter, only for Snow to kick him in the gut, making Highfather slam into the wall to the right against the pyramid wall, cracking the stone from the pure physical force of her kick. When Highfather stumbled forward, Snow appeared right behind Highfather and pinned him to the ground, with her sword leaning against his neck. Just give me an excuse to separate your head from your body, you arrogant bastard. Give me an excuse so I can kill you. Zeke slowly got up from his throne, his black throne, and made his way over to Highfather. You see, Highfather, I could easily kill you and the rest of the new gods on New Genesis. It would be quite a simple task for me. Not much effort in it, really. I will spare you this one time. If you approach me in such a matter again, I will strike you down in the rest of your fellows with no mercy. I will not be talked down upon like I'm some mere child. Or will I be summoned like some sort of servant? I am Zeke, the infernal new god. As fire erupts in the chamber, the moment he announced himself, you are nothing but a pathetic insect that I could crush upon my boot at any time. Child. Don't submit to weakness, boy. I have far more experience being a new god than you do. You barely gained the power. I've been training and mastering my gifts for centuries. Snow released Highfather, only for Izuku to slam his boot into his face as Highfather gets shot backwards out of the pyramid, as Snow activated a barrier. Immediately afterwards, as she slammed the door to the temple shut, could hear pounding from the barrier from the outside as he slowly approaches his throne and sat down. Brother, allow me to kill those weaklings for you. I just need a command. Worthy of the gift that the old god granted them, their insects. I have no doubt you could do such a feat, sister. As entertaining it would be to have my dear sister kill them like the insects they are, but our job is not to subjugate the rest of the new gods. Our task was quite clear. Do you remember, sister? I remember, brother. We are a deterrent for the other new gods. We're to strike them down if they become too dangerous for the galaxy in a whole. Don't be too cross with them, sister. They're merely children. Our concerns are not Highfather at the moment. My main focus is the one that stole his power, that stole the power of the old gods, that forcefully took his rank as a new god, known as Darkseid. Are we to eliminate him, brother? At the moment, let things play out without our interference. I want to see how this plays out anyways. I know you, sister. You're antsy. You're not the type to wait for conflict to happen. It's in your nature. And I love that about you. And I admire your warrior spirit. There will be time when you will be fully unleashed upon the galaxy. But we must play the waiting game. I feel sorry for the fools that cross blades with you, sister. But until then, we will not be acting. Understood, brother. I'm at your command. I'm only loyal to you, brother, and you alone. You have mine as well, sister. I believe it's time we venture out of New Genesis and explore the galaxy. As a flaming portal appeared in the chamber, as the brother and sister stepped through the flaming portal and disappeared to parts unknown, the portal reappeared on a planet in the Milky Way galaxy. As you see prehistoric Martians, mixture between green and white, as Zeke and Snow are floating in the air, staring down upon the savages. Where are we, brother? What are those creatures beneath us? As the two new gods are floating in the air, like I mentioned prior, the knowledge I gained when we became new gods. I believe they're called Martians. They're quite primitive now, but in time they will evolve to what? It's still to be determined, sister. This species piqued my interest. They're still young. They flew away from the little settlement and landed in a secluded area of the planet. With one snap of his fingers, the Black Pyramid appeared on Mars. I see great potential in these primitive creatures. It would be best to observe them while we're in the temple, so we don't interrupt their civilization and their growth. I might reveal myself to them in time, sister. Of course, brother, if you find value in these creatures, then I'll hold my tongue for now, until they prove to be, until I feel sit. Try again. Of course, brother. If you find value in these creatures, then I'll hold my tongue until they prove to be worthy of your affection. Zeke observed the Martian species, eventually gifting the Martians with the knowledge to create fire. Zeke had no intention of becoming worshipped by these life forms, but unfortunately they worship him nevertheless, as they saw him as a protective god. The Martian species evolved over time. The Martians became more peace-like. On the other side of the planet, the white Martians became more aggressive than their green counterparts. Snow came rushing into the throne room inside the Black Pyramid. Brother, I come with news. The white Martians are marching upon the main city of the green Martians. They kind of been worshiping me as a goddess. They believe me to be a war goddess. And they start referring you as a false god. Very well, sister. I'll handle this personally. Are you going to eradicate them? I know they're quite violent, but I do see value in these white Martians, like you do with the green ones. I have no intention of eradicating all of the white Martians, nor will I allow them to wipe out the green. They must be punished. The Green Martians are still in early stage of their development. They're still a naive and peaceful race, and I'd like to keep it that way for the time being. If they become too violent, they'll lose compassion. And that would drastically stunt their development as a species. Of course, brother, I trust your judgment. Zeke got off his throne and approached his sister and gently caressed her cheek with his hand. Don't worry, sister. I will only target the ones that are attacking the Green Martian city. The rest of them will be spared, considering how fond you are of them. White ones will survive upon this day, but the ones that are foolish enough to attack the Green Martian settlement will be eradicated. Zeke separated from his sister and walked away and walked out of the pyramid. This didn't take me too long, sister. Zeke disappeared and reappeared outside of his temple as he made his way towards the city. They're at that stage of development that they started to make houses and buildings and really becoming a civilization. Zeke decided to portal the rest of the way there. As Zeke appeared in one of his temples that the Martians created, the moment they saw him, they all kneeled. Rise. Please save us, sire. We don't know how to fight. We're a peaceful race. We've tried hard to live symbiotic with the white ones, but they're dead set on eliminating us like we're some sort of insects. You have nothing to fear, mortals. The White Martians will not be arriving in your beautiful city. I will prevent that personally. I see great potential in your race. As long as you continue in this path, you will have my affection and protection. Rest assured, you will not die this day. Zeke went into his flaming portal and exit outside of the city limits as he sees a whole army of White Martians, all equipped with high-cadence laser rifles, ready to massacre the Green Martians at the slightest moment. The White Martians are a lot more technology advanced than the Green at this current stage in their development. As lasers begin to rain, as being shot out of their rifles, the moment the White Martians know the Izuku, they immediately open fire on the false god known as Zeke. When the laser beams made contact, there was completely no damage to their attacks. It still baffles me why my sister values your kind so much. You seem nothing but to be savages. Technology bright enough to make weapons, but don't have the foresight to really evolve to something else. You're nothing but savages. So allow me to enlighten you on the status quo of things. Zeke slowly raised his hand towards the savage White Martian, and unleashed an ocean of fire, vaporizing every single one of them except for one. He left one alive on purpose. White One, warn your kin. The Green Martians are under my protection, and any hostility towards their well-being will be met with my wrath. As his eyes begin to glow bright red, instead of the normal yellow color he normally has. Run. Prove his point, he shot out several miniature-sized fireballs at the White Martian, making him to run faster, out of his sight. As his sister approached right next to him, I haven't seen your fire in quite some time, brother. You sure put the scare in him. Our time on this planet is coming to an end, sister. I've interfered in their development too much. I give them a few more years, and they should be able to protect themselves. They're slowly building and becoming more advanced. And the Green Martians are on the pedestal of making something fascinating with their technology level. I might not know why you're so fond of the White Ones, but I'll leave their development up to you, sister. I'm going to head back to the pyramid. Oh, you don't understand why I'm fond of these White Martians. Not all of them are bloodthirsty creatures. I see great kindness in a few of them that I have interacted with on a personal level. Hopefully one day you see that one day, brother. As she continues to watch Zeke's returning form, Zeke's time with the Martians came to an end. The Martians' fate is in their hands. By their choice, they will either continue to thrive as a civilization, or they will simply go extinct. Their choice from now on will determine the path their race goes by. They'll either be eradicated, or their species will survive. Zeke wasn't planning to get so involved and jumpstart their civilization in a hole. Zeke knew all too well they're going to have to find a balance between protecting themselves and their peace ways. Both Martians have something that the other does not have. The Green Martians are a peaceful race and very adapted to any situation, while the White Martians, on the other hand, lack the simple emotion as compassion that the Green Martian has, and the White ones have what the Green Martians don't have: desire to fight. They're going to have to change their ways to evolve, or they will be destroyed. He won't interfere in their development no longer. They're going to have to figure out on their own as a species. They can't keep relying on Zeke or any other deity that comes across their path. Zeke learned the hard way when he's interacting with the Martians or any other civilization. They can't be too reliant on any type of god to bail them out. It's a sure way to make their civilization destroys itself. Zeke placed his pyramid on a dead world. A half a century has passed, until one day he got a visitor from the shadows. A pale-skinned woman with black hair walked out of the shadows, holding an umbrella against her shoulder, giving the new god known as Zeke a bright smile. Allow me to introduce myself. I am endless. Specifically, I am death. Sorry about the intrusion in your nice home. I believe it's time that we actually met. I've heard of your kind. I wasn't expecting to get a visit from Death herself. couldn't help myself. I saw what you did for those Martians. That was very kind of you. Even though you did break a few rules. No matter. You didn't break any serious rules. The situation will fix itself. In time. The timeline might be altered a tad bit. But like I said, it will fix itself. It always does. You're a very kind new god. I prefer conversating with you than that Darkseid fella. He takes life way too lightly. I would love to talk more, but I'm on a schedule. My job keeps me fairly busy. I just came here to meet you and to reply some information that you probably would find interesting. Darkseid has declared war on New Genesis. Your fellow new gods could use your assistance. Why should I help them? They're not my concern. Simply because it's the right thing to do. Look, you helped a undeveloped species and turned them into something special. I just thought you would do the same for your own kin. It's your choice. I just hope you make the right one. Farewell, Zeke. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm looking forward to our talks in the near future. Next time I'll use the door. Zeke watched Death disappear into the shadows. Our visitor was right about that, brother. As much as it would pain me, I think we should assist the other new gods. They would lose, Darkseid would be emboldened, and he would cause even more devastation that he hasn't already. He's already a threat. I hate that bastard Highfather, but he's been a good deterrent to Darkseid. He's been keeping him at bay, somehow. Regardless, whatever you choose, brother, I have your back. No matter what. We need to be careful moving forward, after all. It's never a good thing to get attention of one of the Endless. Agreed, sister. Despite her friendly behavior and innocent face, I feel pure power from her. She's not the aspect of death for nothing. You are correct, sister. It is in our best interest to assist Highfather and the rest of the other new gods. Zeke and Snow stepped through a flaming portal to New Genesis. Zeke didn't want to bring his temple just in case the planet gets destroyed by the future conflict that's about to happen on New Genesis when Zeke enters the fray of battle. Planets don't tend to survive when Zeke's involved in a intense battle. The new god siblings portal open up as they step out of the portal. As they see New Genesis, they saw a war between Apocalypse between Darkseid and his subjects against Highfather and the rest of the new gods on New Genesis. The two brothers exchange blows with each other. This is where you die, brother. You will not interfere with my plans any further. I will conquer New Genesis. Then I will conquer the galaxy. Not allow it, brother. I won't let you put the galaxy in anarchy. I will stop you this day, even if I have to kill you, brother. Don't force my hand. There's still time for peace. Ever, brother. But I would love to see you try. Both new gods rush forward each other with their fists colliding, making huge shockwave. destroying the nearby ground beneath them from their strikes colliding with each other. Darkseid activated his Omega beams, only for Highfather to backhand the beams away. Then Highfather struck Darkseid across the face, only for Darkseid to give him a vicious headbutt. Oh, while Highfather was dazed, Darkseid uppercutted Highfather in the air, then unleashed his Omega beam in midair. As the beam hit his target, Highfather is sent flying, with the beam colliding with his chest. Darkseid appeared behind him and kicked him forward, making him slid across the ground. Darkseid hovered over the body of Highfather and descended down, slamming both his feet into Highfather's back, making him scream out in pain. Darkseid began stomping Highfather in the back. As he pulled his hair and lifted his head up, "You see, brother, no one denies Darkseid. Die." When he was about to swing his fist downwards into the skull of Highfather, Zeke rushed forward as Darkseid gets slammed across the face by Zeke's attack. As Darkseid goes flying, skidding across the ground. Finally stopped, he spit out some blood from his mouth to see who attacked him. Highfather's eyes widened. He hasn't seen Zeke in quite some time. It's been a couple of centuries since he last saw him. "Lord Zeke?" "Oh, Highfather. Stand back and recover your strength. I will handle this from now on." Impressive right hook. I actually felt that. "Who are you?" "I'm a fellow new god, known as Zeke. That's all you need to know, child. It seems you haven't been properly disciplined. Unfortunately, the task is mine to discipline you. Unfortunately, the task to discipline you was thrust upon me. You're one of my brother's pawns, then. Watch your tone, boy. Zeke is no one's pawn. I personally can't stand the man. Darkseid and the rest of the new gods are mere children compared to me and my sister. We were the first ones to achieve the title of new gods. I think it's about time I introduce you to the status quo of things, Darkseid. Well, aren't you confident? Let's see you sing that same tune after I force you to submit to me, to submit to Darkseid. Insolent fool." Highfather was about to assist Zeke. He was stopped by Snow, pointing her tip of her sword against his neck. "Don't you dare interfere, weakling. This is brothers' fight. You just sit back and watch." Father has his hand behind his neck, rubbing, as he laughs nervously. "Sure thing, Snow. I know you and your brother do not think highly of me, considering how our first encounter went. I was young and arrogant. I don't hold it against you. No, you don't like me. Hopefully we can move past that in the future. Will remain to be seen, weakling." As she sheathed her blade. "I'm extremely excited to see this match. I've been waiting to see brother fight for quite some time now." "What do you mean?" "Not even I know the extent of brother's power. I'm fully aware of my brother's powers outshine my own. I've never once defeated brother. He's always easily defeated me in every single one of our spars. This Darkseid will soon find out how terrifying my brother really is. He's the wrathful type, for sure. Darkseid unleashes Omega beams only to get his attack nullified by a strange looking black gauntlet that appeared on Zeke's right hand. It's impressive. Your Omega effect is quite potent. Zeke pulled out his sword with his left hand and got into a fighting stance. Gauntlet hand extended with his black blade underneath his gauntlet and pointed his blade to the side where his gauntlet hand is facing Darkseid direction. The moment Zeke moved, the ground underneath him shattered. Zeke was moving so fast, Darkseid was forced to defend himself moving his arms in a cross-like motion, crossing his arms to try to block, well, whatever incoming attack. As you can see slight cuts all over Darkseid's body, as Zeke reappeared and sheathed his sword. Everyone's surprise on both sides. Immediately stopped fighting. Both sides did, when their clash was noticed by the rest of the battles that eventually stopped. Basically what I'm trying to say. He extended his hand outwards towards Darkseid as he rapidly shot out miniature-sized fireballs out of his palm of his gauntlet, that seemed to have mind of their own, as they'll move around Darkseid and surround him on all sides. Then they rain upon him. Darkseid was hit with many medium-sized explosions. As the smoke develops Darkseid completely, blocking him from everyone's view, except for Zeke's. As Omega beams come flying out of the smoke, forcing Zeke to maneuver on the beams that seem to move on their own in all sorts of directions. Zeke had no choice but to use his blade to knock the beams out of the way. One of Darkseid's theories tossed Darkseid a Apocalypse black blade with red outlines in the design of the sword. Zeke is wielding a black one-handed sword, while Darkseid is wielding a double-handed sword, as they both rush towards each other, with their blades swinging in the air. When the two blades collide with each other, as sparks begin to appear, as they clash blades with each other. Zeke reflected an incoming slash from Darkseid, gave out his own slash that made contact with Darkseid's chest. If it wasn't for him jumping backwards, he would have had a very deep cut across his chest. But Zeke knew he was going to jump backwards, so he immediately acted when he jumped backwards and slammed his foot into Darkseid's chest, making him go slamming or flying backwards. Darkseid had to slam his sword into the ground to stop his momentum. As both new gods rush forward again, as they begin clashing with their blades, making sparks, both new gods jump out of the way from each other to get some distance. Finally, a battle worthy of Darkseid. You surprise me, new god. No, Zeke. You are a true warrior. If any of you interfere in this battle, I will kill you myself. Do I make myself clear? As everyone on Darkseid's allies nod in acknowledgement of their master's order. Shall we continue, Zeke? I'm highly enjoying our battle. I haven't felt this much alive in a long time. Very well, Darkseid. I'm also enjoying this battle. Let us commence in this battle. Zeke rushed forward and dodged a swung of Darkseid's blade, only for Zeke to get kicked in the chest. Then immediately get struck across the face with Darkseid. Well, Darkseid landed a fist across his face, only for Zeke to spin around from the last attack from Darkseid and made contact with his own. He slammed his elbow into Darkseid's face, then immediately swung his sword outwards to slice Darkseid's head off, only for Darkseid to reflect his attack with his blade, as their two blades beginning to grinding against each other, making more increased sparks from the two metals, only for Darkseid weapon to get cut in half by Zeke's black sword. Immediately Zeke swung his sword outwards, trying to pierce Darkseid, only for Darkseid to jump backwards just in time to barely miss his sword, or Zeke's sword, for mere inches away from his chest. As Zeke sheathed his sword, you have an impressive blade to cut through my Apocalypse blade. Very impressive. I'll humor you, Darkseid. My blade is not a simple sword. It is an extension of myself and my power. Do you want to continue our battle, Darkseid? I would like to continue our epic battle, Zeke. I know when I'm beaten. I could tell you're still holding back. Quite a lot, actually. I will not conquer New Genesis this day, out of respect towards our battle, or towards your battle prowess, Zeke. I will return to Apocalypse. But brother, when I return, I will crush you. As a boom tomb started appearing all around the battlefield, as Darkseid and his allies begin to retreat back to Apocalypse, I look forward to our next encounter, Zeke. You are a worthy adversary. You have my respect. Warrior, you have mine as well, Darkseid. Until we meet again, Zeke. As Darkseid disappeared into a boom tube, leaving New Genesis, Father approached Zeke. Thank you for defending us, Zeke. You have my gratitude, and I'm sorry about my behavior when we first met. I hope we can work together to better our people's future. As Highfather extend his hand outwards for Izuku to shake it in friendship. Apology accepted, Highfather. I'm not a petty man. I'm willing to forgive and move on forward. As Zeke shake Highfather's hand. It's the most amazing display of your battle prowess, Zeke. You made my brother retreat, and that's not an easy achievement to achieve. There is indeed powerful, but compared to me, he's still a child. My pyramid will be returning to his original location on New Genesis. If you seek alliance with me, Highfather, just stop by. Hopefully the next time you visit won't be unpleasant like the first. Come, sister. we're leaving. Right behind you, brother. Are you sure it's wise to allow this Darkseid to continue to live? I know you have the power to strike him down. Why did you allow him to escape? His fate is not mine to determine, sister. If Darkseid does indeed die, it won't be by my hand. That honor belongs to his brother, Highfather. A few years has passed. Zeke often visit New Genesis in their city. Well, the New Genesis, I forget what the name of the city is, but basically Highfather City, basically. So let's continue forward. Zeke and his sister, Snow, is sitting in their own chairs in the strategy room, while Highfather is going over what exactly has been going on between the conflict between New Genesis and the Green Lantern Corps. Do you think, Zeke? Good strategy. We need someone to draw out their attention. Sister, I want you to draw out these Green Lanterns and gain their attention. While you do that, me and Highfather will approach their home planet. Oa, I believe it's called. All the forces are busy with you. We should have an easy way. I highly doubt we will come across any resistance on our way to Oa. Even if they have a feasible force, it won't matter in the long end. They will all die. Are you unleashing me, brother? Sister, I'm unleashing you on the Green Lanterns. Give no quarter. Kill them all. Perfect. Been idle far too long. Can't wait to taste of the incoming battle. As everyone can see Snow's breath, as it seems like she's in a winded area, even though there's no snow whatsoever. Unlike her brother, has the power of fire, she has the power of ice. As we cut to some time, as the operation officially began, as you see Snow in space, as New Genesis is right behind her, as she sees the incoming Green Lanterns, as she unsheathed her sword, as she pointed at the Green Lanterns when they finally approached her. Come and face your fate. With one swing of her sword, several shards of ice came out of her blade, as several Green Lanterns were forced to evade the incoming attack. They either outright dodge her ice or use a construct to shield themselves from her attack. Heading towards their direction, Snow cut down the first Green Lantern that she saw by chopping off his hand, then chopping off his head with her sword, then slamming her sword into his chest and yanking her blade out as the Green Lantern ring flies off to find a new wielder upon his death. Green Lanterns came rushing at Snow. They start making constructs of a humongous fist, only for Snow to slice right through their construct with her blade. She appeared right in front of one of the Green Lanterns and grabbed him by the neck, then repeatedly to stab her sword into his chest, then decapitate the lantern immediately afterwards, and shot out shards of ice at the incoming lanterns that were trying to save their comrade. More Green Lantern rings go flying in the distance, finding new potential wielders. This is pathetic. I've already killed a whole lot of you. This is clearly a waste of my time. You're nowhere near my level. I'll finish this in one simple move. Prepare yourself, Green Lanterns. Your doom is upon you. She grasps her sword with both her hands. As the frost emanating from the blade is become more visible, even though it's confusing because they're in space, but yet it's still appearing like it was in gravity, or if it was like if she was using it as a move on the planet. He pointed her blade at the group of lanterns as a burst of blue fire comes shooting out of her sword, freezing the lanterns completely. Then she gently put her sword back in her sheath of her scabbard as all the lanterns shatter into a million pieces. Only thing left intact was their green rings that flew off immediately afterwards upon their death. That should get their attention. Snow immediately created ice doubles of herself with their own ice swords in their hands. In the hundreds, waiting for the next wave of green lanterns to head towards her direction. Snow could see the next wave of lanterns heading towards her. As she commanded all her ice copies of herself, kill them all. As she ordered her ice doubles to move forward to engage the Green Lanterns in battle, as she stares upon the battle with her cold expression on her face. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night or day, judging my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.